The girl, while she was asleep, suddenly felt her calf being pulled. She thought it was her sister playing a prank, but her sister was actually asleep in her own bed. Suddenly, a strong force yanked her fully awake. The girl instinctively backed away and looked around. Seeing no one around, she carefully looked under the bed, but fortunately there was nothing under the bed. However, the bedroom door began to slowly move. The girl stared at the slowly moving door, not daring to make a sound, and could only quietly wake her sister. Then the girl pointed behind the door and said, someone was standing there staring at them. But her sister thought the girl was just scaring herself, and walked over directly, telling her there was no one there. But suddenly, the sister smelled a foul, rotten odor. At this moment, the girl said in terror that the thing was standing right behind her. But when the sister turned her head to look, the door slammed shut with a bang. Fortunately, their parents were awakened by their screams. The father rushed in and asked what had happened. The girl cried and said there was someone behind the door. But after checking, the father found nothing strange, and could only comfort her, saying she had a nightmare. But the girl said that person talked to her, and said he wanted their whole family to go to hell. At first, the couple didn't take it seriously. But the next night, when the mother was checking whether the children were asleep, a loud noise suddenly came from outside, and all the picture frames on the wall mysteriously fell to the floor. The mother felt extremely uneasy, so she quickly turned on the light to check. Then clapping sounds came from the basement. The mother had no choice but to gather her courage and walk to the basement door, wanting to see who was playing tricks. But she didn't dare go into the basement alone. So she shouted down, "Come out quickly, or I'm going to lock the basement door." But just as the mother turned around, she was knocked over by the suddenly closing door, and tumbled into the basement. At that moment, the eldest daughter was awakened by the commotion in the basement, but she saw her younger sister sleepwalking in front of the wardrobe. Seeing this, the sister quickly helped her younger sister back onto the bed. Suddenly, a loud thump came from behind them. Just as the sister was about to check the wardrobe, the younger sister on the bed suddenly sat up. When the sister opened the wardrobe, she found it was empty, but her younger sister behind her was terrified. Following her sister's gaze, she saw a terrifying old witch crawling on top of the wardrobe. At this moment, the father, who had just come home from work, heard the screams and rushed into the house, rescuing his wife from the basement. He then ran upstairs, and after calming the eldest daughter, who was thrashing on the floor, the father realized that something was very wrong with the house. The next day, they called in a pair of exorcists. As soon as the exorcists stepped into the house, they immediately sensed the evil that had taken root there, and the real nightmare was only just beginning.